Previously on Hackway Heights.
From behind you, you hear this cheer.
He's here! He's here!
Sallie, do you want to play a game with me?
Depends on the game.
Sallie.
Don't turn away from me.
I want to swing this hammer, almost like golf club style, up his chin.
This is such a fun game. I love it when they
Fight.
Meanwhile,
Robots. Wow.
So, do these robots stay down here all the time?
They don't just do what I tell them because I told them and they are artificial creatures, but because they want to do what I tell them. They love it.
You wouldn't happen to need more workers at Dynamic Industries, would you?
Tremolo, Nezzy, you all are riding down the street. You see Sallie.
She has no idea what we've been through.
And you hear this voice booming down the block. I don't ever want to go see another art show as long as I live. And you see Mr. Dick. Last week, with a split party, we had Tremolo and Nezzy getting some intel, trying to make friends with Felina Robertson, who is a head engineer, scientist person. I don't know technical terms, so I don't know exactly what her job would be called. But you all were talking to her, and while you all were talking to her, trying to get some kind of foothold, some kind of intel on Dynamic Industries, Sallie was at Gossamer Park, wondering where the hell her friends were, and fighting a vampire. She fought a vampire.
Minions.
And well, you didn't fight their minions.
I didn't want to fight the minions, but I was scared of the minions.
You were super scared of the minions. You fought a vampire, Sallie, and I listened back to this episode, and there were so many things that had to go right, that had to go right. And if one of them didn't happen, you're getting your blood sucked. And the very first one that changed the whole game, and this is why we roll the dice instead of just improvising whatever we want to do. The reason we rolled the dice is because they had a little bit of that chance, a little bit of that chaos, was when I asked you to roll a d6 to see if you could find a special item in the shop. And you rolled a 1, which means you do. I only had 4 special items. You rolled a d4 and you rolled a 1 again. And it was the Hammer of Oblarn that you got. For people who want to see the proof, I had published on our blog at our website, getoutofdepth.com. I had published on our blog all the shops, all the items. I presented my work before the episode, and people can go back and see that I didn't fudge anything, that it really happened. You got a 1 and a 1, and you got the Hammer of Oblarn, which had a special ability in it that once you connect with somebody, you get to roll 2d10, take the highest number for damage. That's huge damage. Advantage on your damage roll at a d10. However, once that happens, it explodes. It shatters into splinters, which sounds like a bum deal, except you're fighting a fucking vampire.
Exactly what you needed.
It's exactly what I needed.
Man, I got a really good hit on that, but I just wish there were some stakes around here somewhere. Oh, hey!
Just some pieces of sharp wood.
And all of that was in the text, and it all worked out, and you were able to avoid getting eaten, which was big. I rolled bad. I rolled bad on my rolls, which is part of the course for all the games that we've been playing lately. You were able to stake this vampire, killed this creature of the night. You still have this bloody stake, this red tainted stake on your person, and you start running, and it's like you come out of a pocket dimension. It's like you run a few blocks and then you're out of it. And you're in this street, we're at the edge of the art district, and there's an art gallery, the Gallery of Transient Art. There's a woman selling pies. There's people in cafes. It's a nice winter night, and your friends ride up in their carriage, and you all are in the back of it. Remember, we pulled over the carriage, parallel parked your 2-horse carriage. By the way, you guys have 2 horses that you may need to take care of at some point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be too.
They are creatures.
They are living beings.
Are they robotic?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
right.
they are real.
Just establish it.
And you guys pull over and share this apple pie that Sallie just bought. Tremolo and Nezzy having no idea what Sallie's been up to other than buying apple pies. And while you all are sitting in the back of this carriage eating an apple pie, bits of apple pie falling from Tremolo's mouth into the paper bag deftly situated between his legs, you'll hear a loud booming voice complaining about the art show and how it was the worst art show he'd ever seen. And you all see this colossal shark, this mock shark made of stained, dirty blue fabric, white belly. He's got a patch over one eye that looks like it would be like a breastplate for a small person, right? Tremolo could wear this eye patch as like a breastplate. His other eye is the size of a dish, a dinner plate. And it's just a big googly eye. It's black pupil, whirring around.
And he talks like Macho Man. This is amazing.
I don't know if that's not my Macho Man voice, but
Oh, it was close.
It's close.
It was close to Macho Man.
But now that you said that, there's always room for changes.
Brandy Savage Dick.
Mr. Dick, yeah. Mr. Dick is here. He's here to sell you skirts and furs. Yeah. Uh-huh. You want skirts? I got skirts for you.
Wow, that's a good Macho Man.
That is all I did while Gail was giving birth to our first son was do magic tricks.
42 hours.
For 42 hours, I did magic tricks and Macho Man.
Is that how you
Savage
encouraged her? While she? Oh wow!
I just
push, honey.
No. I never
Okay.
encouraged.
Okay.
She was on her own. She could do it. She could handle it. I was just the entertainment. That's our relationship. Really, is
In a
like
nutshell.
anytime she's just like, "What a day," and I'm
She
like,
can-
"Let
Gail
me
can
juggle some
handle it
bullshit."
as long as
and-
she's entertained.
Got it. You're entertaining professionals that should be attending to your wife. It makes sense.
Hey Doc, before you get to that, pick one of these cups for me to smash down. Just don't pick the wrong one because there's a steak knife that I got inside of it and it'll puncture my hand. All right. So you all hear Mr. Dick yelling and you're all huddled in the back of this carriage looking out that back window, peeking out. You can see him back there. He's about 40, 50 feet away.
Does he have a lot of guards and protection around him?
You can tell he has about three flunkies. They look familiar, like you've seen them in passing the time that you went to Dick's Skirts and Furs. You went down into the underground facility, just like through a couple hallways, with Merkin, who accompanied you all on your first mission in episode 1, for those of you who are not listening to all the episodes. which I say you should just do that. It's only 12. So like a couple of them you kind of notice, they're just kind of three punks, right? They're all wearing like sailor outfits, you know, like red and white striped stuff, bandanas, big leathery coats.
Are they mockeries? Human?
They're all human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they've got like a Batman villain vibe where they're all in the same theme as the main villain.
That's right.
Yes. Love it.
That's right. Why would I not do that?
Why would you not do that? That's amazing.
Yes. So they're all thematically appropriate to the villain of our game, Mr. Dick. Well, maybe the villain of our game. I think he's the villain.
I think we're going to blow him up. So he better be a
the
villain.
plan is that you guys are going to kill his ass. So hopefully he's the villain. But we may discover that he was the hero all along.
He's just trying to bring some canals into the city. Just provide some infrastructure.
He's a bastion of progress. You know, Anita's standing in his way.
He didn't choose to be a gigantic
Holding on
shark.
to horse-drawn carriages. Oh.
Speaking of horse-drawn carriages, you see this massive carriage pull up, and it's being led by 4 massive horses, huge gray stallions, and it looks like a parade float of a ship, like the carriage. Like imagine a carriage body of a ship shaped like a sailboat, and like a pirate ship, and it has a mast and a sail, and the sail says, "Dicks, skirts, and furs. This dick will treat you right."
Oh dear.
Oh my god!
But he's not a villain.
He's not a villain. He's just running a.
Oh, absolutely not. After that,
rides around in a big ass billboard.
He's problematic. Okay.
Misunderstood. That's for sure.
All right.
Oh my god!
Let's not boil down his character to a couple of comments that he's made. Okay. So this rides up, and people start making their way over to this structure. It's got a coachman who's sitting on like the mast, and he's halted the horses, and one of the minions like comes over, opens up the carriage door, and then another one, there's like a rope ladder on the side of it, and like 2 of the guys start getting on top of the ship like they're sailing, and Dick is starting to make his way to this door, and it almost looks like this big fabric shark is going to have like a hard time fitting into this door, but he's going to give it a try. And maybe there's like a little bit of curiosity and you all going like, let's see how he gets inside the ship. And before he does, you hear a man yell across the street, "Mr. Dick, I'm sick of owing you money. You've ruined my life, and now I'm going to end yours." And he has a flintlock pistol, and he fires. The bullet embeds itself into the side of the carriage, and Mr. Dick slowly turns around, looks at him, and you see this guy shaking now, and he clicks the other hammer. It's got that dual hammer kind of pistol, and he fires again. And this time the bullet embeds itself into the fabric of Mr. Dick and then drops to the ground. The whole street is dead silent as everybody is staring at the scene in shock and awe. And Mr. Dick slowly starts walking towards this man whose trembling hand shakes until the pistol falls out and clatters on the cobblestone ground. Now, everyone here saw that you just tried to end my life, is that right? Everyone saw that. Now, I don't think anybody would begrudge me if I had a late night snack. And he clamps down on this man. And just like Tremolo eats his apple pie, Mr. Dick is going to eat this young man. And you see him munch on this guy and hearing these sickening crunches as he wiggles him about. And you just see these 2 legs swinging about through the air until they're just limp. And then it falls out of his mouth. This guy mangled to a pulp from being fabric-y gummed to death. And Mr. Dick turns around. Load 'em up, boys. Papa's full and wants to go home for a rest. And he squeezes himself into this ship. And you hear him howling with laughter. As they ride away.
Oh, are there any on the side of this thing? Are there any kind of windows or portholes or anything like that on the side of this ship carriage?
Yeah. Yeah. There's, it's like in the back corners, right? Not directly out the rear, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But they would have to be opened and closed, you know.
They're like glass.
Like right
they're circular glass. You can see directly through them, but they're not open air.
Sallie's kind of cowered in the corner with what's left of her apple pie. That was your chance, Nezzy.
That was my chance to die, that's for sure. You see what happened to that man?
So as they're saying that, and it's the carriage is going by and leaving, Tremolo was really looking to see if there was a way that he could toss these bombs in through one of those windows. And he slowly gets his hands out of lets go of the bombs inside of his cloak and gets his hands back out.
You thought about it and you decided against it.
Yeah, there's, they're kind of high up. If they were open, he probably would have done it, but
because it's a blast. All right, I'm going to say this, and not because I think you should do this. I have no judgment either way, but because it's a blast, it wouldn't necessarily have to get inside because you could throw it onto the roof of this carriage, and it would affect everybody.
But that's the thing is I know that we have a good plan. Tremolo knows that we have a good plan ahead of us. If we can pull that off, this could be better to have him tuna in a can and just toss those in. But I don't think it'd have the same effect if it got on top. It might take care of everybody else, but not the biggest worry that we have. If I could have dropped it in easily, then in there with him, then I think it'd be hard for him to survive. Or there wouldn't be much left of him for Nezzy and Sallie to finish off.
Yeah.
But
no, if there was a way we could bar the doors and set this ship aflame, this could be a prime opportunity. But we're also not really prepared for a massive battle. So we could,
I think instead we're just all choking on those ideas and our pie as we watch it go by.
We might have a bit more bravery if we didn't just see a man get mangled.
Yeah.
How cool would it have been though if we just were there and someone else just assassinated Mr. Dick right in front of us? Wow, that took care of a problem.
Yeah.
Could we have a piece of that, please?
Do you mind if we take credit for this?
What if that was the game?
I mean,
it's cool. I did it for you.
I'd be willing to off the other three people and be like, "Hey, see, we saved your life."
We'll do cleanup. We'll clean it up. That's fine. All right. So you all witness this. Where to next? It's late. Sunset. It's the evening. Where are you guys going to sleep tonight?
Sallie's scared. Out of her wits.
Do we know of a place where we could take the horses to store the carriage for the night? But perhaps Anita Indigo's would be the most logical place for that, I suppose.
Anita doesn't want to. Anita doesn't really want to see us again because we're too hot.
Yeah.
She's hoping that we'll finish this job quickly and then we can come back to her and she can clear our name and stuff. But we have Shira. It's the only person we really know with a place.
Shira's got a place for horses though, but we could check.
You can find a place to stable your horses. It's going to cost money, but you guys got a ton of money now.
Yeah.
You guys got tons of money.
Or we could potentially stop by and see if we can stay where my boy is stashed.
Is that a good idea?
I'm not sure if it is, but I won't lie. I am always worried about him. But perhaps the best thing for him is for us to stay away.
Jay, when I was reading the gossip column, did I read about anybody who's out of town?
You read about So a couple episodes, Gail got a newspaper.
I was reading it while I was on the roof, waiting.
Right. And she wanted to look through like society gossip, and you were looking for missing persons or people, you're looking for stuff about people who are like leaving or moving, or you see that there are, let me make a little roll here. Nope. Yep. You don't see anything about like somebody moving to Hackway Heights looking for a place.
Okay.
You do see somebody, a count, who is looking for someone to rent out a flat in their house. And it's in one of the posher neighborhoods.
Boys, I was looking at this place and I flipped and I'm like, it's going to be expensive, but I really don't think anyone's going to look for us in the rich neighborhood. And he probably has stables because they probably have horses. Nobody can trace us. Nobody can trace us to Barney if they're tracking us or anything like that. I'm really afraid that Anita's got people following this carriage waiting for us to go to Barney, and nobody would trace us to Shira, and so Shira's not going to get in trouble, and people at the Greasy Mandolin.
She's pointing at this classified in the newspaper, and you guys see that it says, looking for renter, second floor, must be quiet, know how to keep secrets. $25 a month.
See, and they like secrets too, so that we can say it needs to work in reverse. We keep your secrets if you keep ours, but we'll also not be there all the time. We're just going to be there to lay low.
$25 a month. That's less than a pitcher of mimosas. That's seems well within our budget.
Yes, if you believe they'll take all three of us, that would be great.
It did sound like it's probably one, but I feel like, maybe we can be servants. I mean, this is a count. Surely, two of us could be, servants for, I'll be the cook or something, and one of you two can be the butler or whatever for the other one.
I'll be the musician.
Oh yeah, you can be the protege, and Nezzy, you can be Tremolo's patron.
Do we need to clean ourselves up before we go? It is a classy neighborhood, after all.
Oh, I guess I do. I'm covered in blood.
Also, you all notice Sallie is covered in blood.
I'm still gripping the stake for dear life.
Why are you covered in blood, Sallie?
Yeah, what happened at the park?
I thought perchance you had a pie before we got here. I was not quite sure.
I don't want to talk about it. But Gossamer Park's not an option.
Oh, well. Hate to hear that was a waste of time. But we got a lot done while you were doing that, though. We have some good inroads to the all the workings underneath the city. There's little robots, and Nezzy stole a key card, and so don't you worry. Our line is working out well.
Oh, robots and a key card. Okay.
Yeah, so we now have access to an area that is connected to the pit. So,
what's the pit?
Oh yes, that's right. We didn't even tell you what happened when we went to see Ralph. We learned about the transport tunnel that has an exit that has these robots that deliver goods straight to Mr. Dick's Skirts and Furs. So
yeah,
it could be.
I did hear him talk about something like that one time.
It could be a pretty stealthy place for us to enter or potentially exit. So, or both.
Oh.
Yes, and we made friends with Felina Robertson, and she wants me to be her assistant, and I'm going to get a job, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to learn how to use the robots and figure out the transit system underneath the city. At least I think I am.
Oh, boys. I'm just so relieved. I thought you all were really gonna get yourselves hurt. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And you're just fine. And I'm just so proud of you both. Got a job assistant. I don't know who Felina is, but it sounds really fascinating and yeah.
She has a horde of worshippers.
Yeah, you ever see those, those fellows that have the light bulb on their head?
Oh yeah. That's that church of
the new
current
modernity.
New modernity. That's right.
That's right.
And there's something about
Believe
keep to the current or something.
Believe in the current.
Believe in the current.
They somehow worship her, and we somehow now have an in with someone that's a champion of progress that they seem to revere.
That's really nice. I'm really feeling better about that because I could really use a church right now.
You still haven't told us what happened. Are you sure you don't want to talk about it?
There was a vampire kid. He was scary, and he made me play hide and seek with him. Like made me in my mind. I don't like it.
As you're talking about those moments where he was able to speak to your mind and force you to play hide and seek, force you to walk towards him, you're recalling that feeling, and you can feel it inside you through your hands where you're holding this stake. As though if you really wanted to, maybe you could compel somebody to do something they don't want to do, too.
Oh my gosh. Jay.
Sallie, why are you waving that bloody stick around?
'Cause it's got his blood on it. And I think I need it.
To clarify, this is the child's blood.
Yes.
Okay. Nezbit.
Well,
he called for his mommy when he died.
Oh my. So now they're looking for me for kidnapping a child. You've killed this. We're going to be maybe a pretty hot prof.
No one was around. It was apparently in a different dimension or something, where nobody exists except for vampires.
Where's the body, Sallie?
Oh, like it's in that other dimension. No, you can't get back to it. You have to stay there until the sun sets, and then you're there. I think. But everybody else leaves before sunset. They do. That's where I got the hammer of the Oglehorn, something. This is what's left of it.
Well, within the last couple days, there's a lot of things that have happened to me that I can't explain. You believed me, and I believe you, okay? I'm really sorry that happened to you, Sallie. And I give her a big hug.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Nezzy.
I also believe you both. We should all go to bed.
Let's go sleepy time.
Do you think what time is it? I don't know what time, like
early evening. It's about 7.
'Cause it's winter. Yeah. Okay. I'm like I have no concept
6.
of.
All right. Let's go be fancy people, I suppose.
Okay. I'll drive
So where would you like to take this carriage?
to the address in the classified, I think.
All right. Okay. So you need to take this carriage to the entrance of the Travelator. And the Travelator's on our map.
Oh, wow. We can put our whole carriage on the Travelator?
No.
Oh.
I was excited about that.
Like a walking path and horses are going to be cool with that. Like,
fuck. This horse is not okay.
But you know how you just go double time as you're walking down a moving sidewalk, and the idea of horses just
good gracious, they would just glide and be gone. Man, that'd be crazy.
So you all need to take this over here to the Civic Artist Assignment Center. That's around where the entrance to the Travelator is. And the only way into this nice area is the travelator.
But we would need to leave our horse and carriage behind.
Somewhere.
Right. But there is a stable there for all these rich people to house their animals. Most of them, and I'm going to say, as I'm explaining this, I'm going to say that you're going to get there. When you get there, you see that there is a place to put your horses or whatever your travel mode of transportation is. Most of these compartments house automobiles. There's not a lot of horses. So there's a stableman who is willing to take care of your horse. He says there's a few like old money kind of people that still value horses and are a little jittery around the new cars and stuff like that. And he's willing to stable the horse for $10 a night.
And that includes feeding him and things like that?
Yeah. And you can come by and pick it up when you come back.
Okay.
So is that $20 then? $10 a horse? I was just clarifying.
Oh, for the whole deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, stabling horses is way cheaper than the Greasy Mantle. Maybe that's just us. We eat and drink too much. Maybe
Jae forgot what the prices were at the Greasy Mandolin.
It was like $5 each, but I mean that's $15.
Yeah.
Well, maybe housing is more plentiful than food around here. That's what it seems like. Gotta spend a lot for food.
Yeah. Why doesn't everyone be rich? This is easy.
Yeah. Let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake. That's the episode title. Let them eat cake. If we did episode titles.
Yeah, I mean, if you just take money from a bunch of gangsters and don't return it, yeah, it's easy. All right.
You all take the horses, set it all up. Gail, you have the funds, all that stuff. And it costs money to get on the travelator. This is expensive. It's going to be $50 a person.
What the shit?
And if we were trying to like walk around the travelator, I'm just curious, like what is there
can we walk beside it?
Can we just walk beside it? It's like
it's like a gated community.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't think you can get it into the houses. It's one of those.
No,
These huge iron bars connecting to huge stone pillars with gargoyles on top, watching over. And it just seems to stretch. And you can see that it's not just homes. It's like very large buildings, corporate looking buildings, industrial buildings are also here.
If we're going to be coming and going from this place, they got like a weekly pass.
That's what I was going to say. Is there someone standing there like accepting money or something?
Season ticket.
We can talk to?
What's the season ticket rate?
What's the easy pass?
Does this come with the water park? Do we get to go into the water park with this pass?
Do I get free refills,
No.
please?
Which show do I get to see at the planetarium with this pass? So the way it works is that if you're just visiting, it's $50. If you live here and can show proof of residency, it's part of your like property tax.
Got it.
Okay.
I mean, you can afford it now. You guys got tons of money, and I'm going to figure out more ways to make you spend it.
Yeah. Let's hop on this fancy walkway.
So we're deducting $150 plus the horse fee. Gail?
It's deducted.
Market.
Can someone just hold me like I'm a puppet so I don't get charged?
I love see what you just did. I love that in past episodes you were just like, don't call me a mockery, and you're like,
now Tremolo's like,
now I'm gonna pretend like a bad I would have suggested it, but I knew that would have been strike 3, so I kept my mouth shut.
Yes, it would have.
Good job, Nezzy.
Oh man.
Sallie also
funny.
wouldn't have suggested it after Nezzy's
everybody
2
is-
strikes.
Yeah. I think everybody's very scared of what 3 strikes is. I get a very of Mice and Men vibe, and Tremolo is the one that like isn't the what's his name, Lenny?
Lenny, yeah.
He's not Lenny. He's the smart one.
He's Gary Sinise.
You guys are Lenny. The more you guys tell your stories about vampires and aliens, the more Tremolo's just like, I may have to put them down.
Yeah. Something real weird has got to happen to Tremolo. So he's like, guys.
You're going to wake up and Tremolo's going to be standing over your bed with a pillow.
I always loved you.
Just think about the rabbits. You all got you hop on this travelator. It is a metal structure, and you can see there are people who have these like folding chairs and umbrellas that they set up, and they plunk themselves down, pouring a cup of tea on a little table, a foldable table. They have a butler that stands with them that sets all of this stuff up for them. They're wearing impeccable outfits, frilly white lace, incredible colors. Something about folks who are of a lower class in Bastion is that they all have like access to just browns and blacks in terms of color palette for their clothes. But the wealthy class is generally denoted by vibrant colors that they're able to get a hold of. So chartreuses and deep purples.
With my Born to Be Wild and top hat, do I mildly blend in with these people, or is it very clear that I'm still not one of them?
Yeah, you get the kind of that like ruffling feathers, but like begrudgingly having to accept you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of look.
New money.
Yeah, new money. You're part of that new young brigade. Actually, Nezzy, how old is Nezzy?
He's like 43.
43. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you all hop on this travelator and you make your way along it, and you pass this massive condo looking building. It's 29 floors, and it says Pep 29 Suites. As you're slowly moving down this moving sidewalk, as it is pulling you forward, you can see like a list of all the different professions that are housed in that Pep 29 Suites. Doctors, dentists, surgeons, people who work with metal. You see a lot of those lists, and it has their suite number, and it has a sign that says Pep 29, where the young professional lives and dies. You begin passing that up slowly. It's so slow that there's like an impulse to want to walk, but you can't
Sally's
walk on
having
this.
trouble. Like,
Yeah.
she kind of starts like creeping up, and like somebody glances at her, and she's like, oh.
Yeah. It's frowned upon to ever walk on the travelator, because then you wouldn't be using it for its intended purpose. As you all pass Pep 29, you can see off in the distance the spires of this radio tower, and that is the steeple of the Church of the New Modernity. And you can see it off in the distance on this hilltop, so that it's higher than all the other buildings around it.
So the Church of the New Modernity has a radio tower?
It has a radio tower, yeah.
Okay.
It does.
So, do we know, do they typically like broadcast like their religious beliefs? Is that why they have one? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You would know that they have access to not just radio, but they have access to newspaper. They recently purchased the Daily Spark, which is the name of the Hackway Heights newspaper, the local area. So they have a lot of access to media. And Sallie sees this gate coming up for the address. You see all these really beautiful kind of Victorian houses, incredible steeples and spires, these impeccable yards. And then you see this other address. You know that this is your stop. So it kind of like you open up a gate and exit the travelator, and it's like an artery, a vein of houses. So you have access to about 10, 12 houses off of this one gate. And you're walking down the street, you can see these beautiful homes. And then Sallie, you see that the home you're looking at is this dark, black, wooded building. The grass is dead. Windows are cracked.
Yeah.
There's a weather vane on the top that's rusted and squeaks and spins around, but there doesn't seem to be any wind. It's just spinning.
Well, Nezzy, you're the man. We're your servants. Your humble servants.
Just our luck. We want a mansion, and this is what we get. All right.
Here, Nezzy,
Yeah.
use my monocle.
Oh, good idea. How do I look?
Oh, you look so
Yeah?
dashing.
All right.
You all walk up this sidewalk, this walkway to the house, and on the wooden door is this kind of ugly gremlin-looking face with a knocker in its mouth, made of brass. This huge oak door. Who knocks?
Sallie does. It was my idea, and I think a servant's supposed to do it, and I'm probably tall enough to do it. Tremolo.
So you grab a hold of it and you knock, and this huge ball, this heavy ball, hits the oak and makes no sound. Makes no sound. You've hit it twice. And then, as if on a delay, you hear this echo of boom, boom, boom throughout the house.
It's a weird knocker. Okay.
After a moment, you hear the shuffling of footsteps and the door creaking open, and you see this figure, pale, pasty skin, an eye that has like a wart right on the lid, and it's very short, comes about just about 6 inches over where like the doorknob of a regular door would be.
Hello?
Why, hello there, good sir. Sorry to bother you so late at night, but we saw your ad in the paper, and I believe this is the perfect place for us to lay some roots for the time being.
He opens the door a little bit more. His teeth are cracked, jagged things.
Yes. You are here for Count VEXENHAL's? You're here to see about the room.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, the Count will be very pleased. Very pleased indeed.
Well, great. Has this ad been running long? I'm surprised it's still available. Seems like a lovely place.
And his one crazy eye looks out at the rest of you.
Will the three of you be staying?
Yes, this is my servant and my musician here, and we would love to see the premises and stay the night.
Please come inside. Warm yourselves by our fire.
He opens the door, this creak. And you look inside, and it's this cobwebs and darkness. The lanterns are reflecting lights and shadows. You see these kind of marble statues that look like they've fallen and been uncared for. There's a huge fireplace crackling with a couple of chairs nearby and a table where a chess game is in mid-play.
Please grab a seat by the fire. Warm yourselves, and I will get the count.
Well, thank you kindly.
And he shuffles up the stairs. He gets about halfway up the stairs, this rounding staircase, and he looks down.
Pleased indeed. Now, don't go walking off and wandering around.
Sallie is appalled that this was her idea, but also, like, now that we're in it, like, is determined to kind of stick to it.
I can see that you're appalled on your face. Don't be. This is a great idea.
And he bounds up the stairs.
We really know how to pick up. This is...
Well, I don't think anyone wants to look for us here.
No, I'm surprised that the rich and fancy people up here allow this place to stand.
You know, you have a point.
They allow it to stand because I demand that it stands. And you hear this voice standing at the top of the stairs. Red velvet robe, white handkerchief flowing out as a pipe resting in his hand. Frail, long fingers extend out and wrap around the banister. So I see that you are here for a room. Would you like to stay in my home and be my guests? I appreciate your bravery. I know that it is not easy to walk up to the steps of Count VEXENHALL.
We appreciate you allowing us to come in this late at night. And for the paper, we saw that you have an appreciation for people that can keep secrets. And just know that our lips are sealed, and we are people of the utmost discretion.
I see that you are avid readers. There are many who do not read all the way to the end. They come in saying they'd like a room. When I ask about the secrets, they say, oh, wait a second, let me pull that paper back out. Then they read and they only get halfway again. I go, no, you have to finish. You have to finish the entire paragraph, and then you will know all of the things that I require, and it is that you are secretive.
Well, clearly every word that you said matters, and that matters to us. We're very people that pay attention to the details.
Correct. VEXENHALL's words matter. And he walks down the stairs. I can see that this is already going to be a very good fit for me. I do have some other demands.
What demands do you have?
When the moon is high, you're not to leave your flat. Your room is on the second floor. There is a lot of work that is done here in the evenings, and I cannot have people wandering about.
I go to the window just to see what phase the moon is in right now.
For those of you at the window wondering where the moon is at, it is about midway up the sky. At midnight, it will be high in there, and you will know that you should be in your damn room.
Well, what if we're the type of people that could help you with your work?
What do you know about my work? Who sent you?
I know nothing, but whatever I would know would be a secret between us.
I should let you know that I have bouts of paranoia that can be quite severe. What are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking that paranoia is a sign of survival. I respect that.
You're saying so many of the right things. Oh, as for the money, I do not request much. As you know, not a lot of people are willing to stay here, so I've had to lower my prices below market value. I'm sure that when you were reading the paper, you were like, man, this is probably a lot cheaper than a pitcher of mimosas at the Greasy Mandolin. You are correct.
Were you in
so hard.
our carriage? That's
I'm just talking in hypotheticals. VEXENHALL is all about covering all bases at all times. Now, you may inadvertently see things around here that may be cause for alarm. Perhaps it is something that you see Finney, my assistant who you've already met, or myself doing. I suggest you forget it. Anything you see in this home you ought to forget. It is but a roof over your head, and perhaps a little bit of company every once in a while. I'll request that you join me for dinner.
We are big fans of dinner.
It's not my favorite mealtime, but I'm not going to turn it down either. So, this guy's ridiculous. Would you all like to stay here?
Absolutely. Would you mind showing us to our floor?
Finney, come. It appears we have new tenants. Let us rejoice by showing them to their rooms and letting them revel in the amazing bedrooms that we have waiting for them. And Finney bounds down the stairs.
I go over to Sallie. Here, can you give us 30? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll pay a little bit extra for some mutual discretion, and we pay up front.
What do you mean about this mutual discretion?
Well, part of the reason I respected your ad was if we have secrets to have, I expect you to keep them as well. So I feel like it's mutually beneficial that we can each be secret keepers for one another.
I see.
Master Nezzy doesn't do anything that would get you in trouble. You just think that he doesn't really want people to mess around with.
I also have things that I do not want people messing around with. They're located in that basement, which is locked. Do not mess with that basement door, or so help me. We're going to have big-time problems, and I will put your lights out.
We are not looking for any big-time problems. Your basement.
We didn't
Why would
need
we
a
go to your basement?
You seem very fixated on the basement suddenly. Forget the basement. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing down there
Mm-hmm.
that concerns you.
Mm-hmm.
Finney, the bags. And Finney comes over. Please, this way. Come. Your rooms await you upstairs. And he leads you upstairs. Each bedroom is, if the rest of the house is like dark, dank, dim, cobweb, dust infested, each of these 3 bedrooms is like white with blue blankets, gold trim pillows, clean and immaculate. Wow. Each one of these bedrooms, the highest of high class.
Oh, well, Finney, do you clean in here? This is incredible.
It was my design. I went to school for interior decorating. It's a passion.
Well, it's really wonderful.
We don't get many people in here who appreciate what I do.
Oh, I love it.
Downstairs, that really, like, cobwebby, creepy doctor vibe that's happening.
Yeah.
That's by request. That's designed for him. He likes that. It's not out of negligence.
I get it. I can see why somebody would like that, though.
Okay. Well, good. Well, enjoy your evening.
And he sets her stuff down. And he leads Tremolo and Nezzy to their own rooms.
So this is like, it's like a hallway that has 3 bedrooms off of it?
Yeah.
Do we have our own, like, kitchens and bathroom and things?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
There is a water closet downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the kitchen.
He says, if you request anything, I make muffins. Sometimes they have fruit in them.
Ooh.
I love fruit muffins.
Do you like juice?
Yes.
I squeeze orange juice fresh in the mornings.
It'll be a nice morning.
People are going to be kicking themselves for letting this stay vacant as long as it did. You're very hospitable. Thank you.
I think it's because of all the dead bodies in the basement.
Yeah, that might do it.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, before we get to the rest of this episode, I just wanted to take a minute to ask for your support. Gail and I really love making this podcast, and we really love playing with our friends and telling stories and all the stuff that we've been doing on YouTube. And if you're listening at home and thinking you'd like to give us a little token of appreciation, you absolutely can. Just open up another tab and go to patreon.com/getoutofdepth, and you can lend us a hand monetarily. We're trying to make our content here better while paying any artists that we have involved. Any money made from the Patreon, it goes back into the production of content like this show. So if you head over to patreon.com/getoutofdepth, you can help us make all of this stuff better. And we don't have much to offer other than the product you're listening to now and our eternal gratitude, but who knows, as support for our content grows, so shall our capacity to reward those who've given us a hand. And you can be a part of that by going to patreon.com/getoutofdepth and signing up for any tier that you feel comfortable with. Thank you all so much for listening this far. Holy shit. And now that we've gotten all of this stuff out of the way, let's get back to the rest of the episode. It is the best sleep you ever had.
Really?
Yeah. It is downy feather, duvet kind of shit. Like, you're like, oh my God, I could just sink into this bed. Calgon, take me away kind of stuff.
I have this picture of Sallie, like, just completely sprawled on the bed, just waking up, touching each corner, or almost touching each corner. Yeah.
Way better than Anita Indigo's cots that you slept on, I think, just last night.
Yeah.
It's been a long 24 hours. You're able to get up. You're able to have breakfast. Everything's cool. It's very quiet in the house. Finney's the only one up, and he's just making you all breakfast. Muffins with blueberries, with a blueberry compote. Now we're at the stage of the game. We've discussed this through email a little bit. And we discussed it a little bit at the end of the last session that you all, based on all the information that you've been collecting, that you all are working to try and come up with a safe plan to infiltrate Dick's Skirts and Furs, his hidden compound under his store, to blow Mr. Dick up. So we have a couple of jobs that you are all trying to do in order to ensure that you have an effective and efficient plan to get this done safely. Which one is most pressing for you all to do today? Right now, we just kind of checked a box, which is get a place where we can sleep and plan. So now I leave it to you all. What's the next step?
So, boys, you all were talking about Tremolo. Are you getting a job, or is that for later?
Oh, yes, I think that I should do it as quickly as possible, so that I can infiltrate that work community and understand how it all works. And I'll be able to get information that will help us ride up to the doorstep of Mr. Dick's hideout and be able to leave undetected as well.
Do you want us to join you on this endeavor, or is that a one-man job?
Right now, all I have to do is find the what is it called? The
Dynamic Industries,
yes, Dynamic Industries.
which is in this gated community.
Oh,
It's actually
That's
not
right.
far from PEP 29
Yeah.
Suites.
all I have to do is walk just down the little non-walking road that takes me there without me moving my legs, and put in an application. And I'm going to drop Felina's name and see how I do.
This place is about as convenient as you could get. If it weren't for all the dead bodies in the basement, it would be pretty perfect.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I think we got to make sure that we don't become one of those dead bodies.
Yeah, or blamed for those dead bodies, the way things are going sometimes. Yeah. Okay, Tremolo, you don't need like a reference or anything since you have Felina. I used to write myself fake references for jobs to get into places all the time, but
Oh, I've never applied for a job before, so I mean, if you want to write anything down for me, I would gladly accept it and take it with me.
it's
I have
for
no
an
idea what
assistant job.
Yes, and she works with robots, and she cleans up messes. She's very scientific.
Well, while we're talking, I'm going to turn on the radio and just see if they're all chatting about me again, or if I'm yesterday's news.
Okay. Let me roll quick. Okay. You hear a news report on the search is continuing to heat up for Barney, the missing child, and that investigators feel confident that they are going to find him fairly soon.
Oh, dang it, Nezzy. Do you
There's
think
so
they got
many-
a clue?
There's so many bigger things happening in this city. I don't know why they're searching for a boy that's safer than he was 2 days ago. Ugh.
Maybe we could send his ma a telegram letting her know that he's okay, and maybe she'll call it off, or if it's her. No, to be honest, it's probably Anita.
Are you sure after seeing what we saw last night that we should really be trying to take down Mr. Dick? Honestly, if we were to turn on Anita, Barney would be a lot safer, and we'd even have more money.
Well, we'll still... Our names won't be cleared, and I don't count on Mr. Dick to do anything for us, really. He still won't be happy that we didn't bring him what he wanted in the first place. It doesn't matter if we hand him his money. He won't care.
Yeah, you're right.
It won't really clear anything for us. At least with Anita, she can clear the slate for us and will prove to be, people of our words.
I was hoping Anita Indigo would be presenting a future I could be with my son, and unfortunately, she seems to want the opposite.
I still believe that it can work out. You just have to kill Mr. Dick and then prove to her that you're a good father. It's not that big of a task.
Well, I feel like time is of the essence. The longer our names aren't clear, the more danger Barney's going to be in. The more danger we're going to be in.
All right, well, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Nezzy, is there anything you want? Do you want to get Barney? Keep him close to you? Or... I'm afraid to move him, but at the same time, we can maybe figure something out. I can sneak real good.
I feel like leaving Barney here while we go out is probably more of a danger for him than where he's at.
Yeah, it's a good...
And
All
I'm
right.
worried about going to visit him would put him in more danger than it is. I can only hope that they're not swayed by the radio stories that they're hearing and that they're keeping Barney safe.
All right. Well, so while Tremolo's trying to figure out the robot thing at Dynamic Industries, we need to figure out the pit. And
yeah, so we could figure out we could go down and infiltrate a bit further and figure out the schedules, figure out exactly how we could get in and out using the automatons.
And do we know? Did you say how to get into how it connects to Dick's skirts and furs?
We just know that it does connect. And I certainly know where one of the hatches is that can get access down there.
Where's that?
It's by where the bridge blew up.
Okay. Well, yeah, I could go investigate a little.
The problem is apparently there's something with the tunnels that only the robots are able to navigate through the tunnels to get to their desired destination. That's one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing, so that we could hopefully figure that out a little bit better, or at least be able to manipulate those to do what we want. So there's an entry to Mr. Dick's hideout through those tunnels, and we need to figure that out if we're ever going to be able to get to that entry. But then there's another entry through the dressing room. That is a secret entry through one of the dressing rooms, number 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's on the first floor dressing rooms. And so that's another entry point. That the problem with the blueprints is it didn't show anything to us about what happens once you get in there. But we know that there's these 2 entries that we need to find out. We need to gather more information on.
Well,
Okay.
do we want to? Because potentially, if we could find a way in using the automatons, we could potentially leave the same direction, or we could investigate both ways and come in through the store and leave discreetly through the pit.
Well, I think I hate to just sit around while Tremolo's doing all the work. I don't think it's a bad idea to try and look at both ways, just like we did yesterday, that really turned out to be not such a good idea for me. But
yeah. No, Sallie, why don't you and I stick together then?
all right. What do you think we should do? Should we just try to sneak in that way, or should we just try to go and see what we see down in the Hackway area and just get an idea of what it's like?
Jay, so
Yeah.
we there was that hatch that we saw yesterday.
Right.
Is this something that, like, now that we've been down there, it's like, have we seen hatches like that throughout the city? Or is that the only one we've ever seen?
That's the only one you've ever seen because it's specific to the dynamos of the Hackway.
Got it.
So theoretically, there would be a hatch like that at every dynamo point of the Hackway. So you wouldn't necessarily have to go to that same spot.
But go towards where another dynamo is.
Yeah. That may be a little bit more difficult because, like, the structure that, like the fencing and everything that keeps it secure would still be there. So it might be easier to go to where it's all kind of destroyed, but there's people there that are trying to fix it. So it would be another sneak job. No, you might be right. It might be easier to go to one that's not a part of a current rebuild.
And where would, like, the closest dynamo to us be?
So if you look at the map, you can see that there's these curves.
Yeah.
The Hackway is kind of shaped like a butterfly.
Yeah.
And where these curves are where there are dynamos.
Got it. So
The place where it blew up was near where? The
bottom right.
Down here
Okay.
near the bifurcated industrial works.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe the bottom left by the cemetery or something like that would be a quiet place of entry potentially.
That's a possibility.
And the bifurcated industrial works, that was That's close to Dick's.
Mr. Dick's, right.
Okay.
Well, what do you think, Sallie? You want to try and head over to the cemetery and see if we can find a hatch?
Did somebody say they were heading towards the cemetery?
Yeah, we were.
Ah, Finney.
Camera pans over to Finney, who is like cleaning the dishes that you guys just ate off for breakfast.
Did you need us to pick up something?
No, I think we're good for now.
Is there any type of, gift, a sign of appreciation that the Count would appreciate for us to bring back potentially?
I don't know if I want to tell you all what he would appreciate. We're just the beginning stage of this relationship. And it seems like, if I'm being honest, you all have a ton of stuff on your plate. And I'm not just talking about my blueberry compote.
Yeah. Well, secrecy was in the lease, so I thought you wouldn't mind telling. But that's okay. We understand.
But if you guys are down, like, we could do something later in the future.
Okay.
But you guys should totally kill Mr. Dick soon. And then we'll deal with maybe this new enterprise afterwards.
Okay. Thanks for that, Finney.
Appreciate the mutual secrecy here.
Yep, I'm so glad that was part of our contract. Speaking of contract, we need proof of our residency to get in and out here. Do we get that as part of our deal?
Oh, of course.
And he has, I was going to mention this. You all have these little certificates that you can keep on your person that allow you to enter and exit the Travelator without harassment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Finney.
Oh, Nezbit, we should buy some of those chairs that fold up and fold out and stuff like that. And then we can ride the Travelator in style.
That's right.
Yeah, if you want to look like some kind of rich asshole.
I'll
see myself out so you all can have this discussion alone.
Alone. Wink, wink.
And he like exits and you hear these footsteps behind the wall. And there's like this painting, a portrait, and you see the eyes start to move in the painting. Just hear heavy breathing.
We could just get Mr. Dick to come to this and just lock him in the basement, and that might just be what it does.
I'm thinking that might be our best option. Talk to the Count about what about mock creatures? Will that do for you?
All right.
Well, Tremolo, I wrote you a letter of reference that says, to whom it may concern, Tremolo is a great assistant. He has assisted me in many attempts to complete jobs, and he has assisted me really well. Please hire him as your assistant. And then I scribbled out something, so it looks like it's a name, but it's not a name. Oh, you did use your name Tremolo, right?
No, I did not actually. It's Trey. Trayston?
Yeah, Trey Trayston. Is the name.
Okay, let me rewrite this letter all over again. Hold on.
Working name.
Write that
I
out.
thought it up on the spot. You'd be very proud of me, Sallie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would think of Tremolo when they hear Trey.
No.
And they know me as Nezariah down there if it ever comes up.
Oh, Nezariah.
Nezariah, yeah.
Yes, he's a cowboy.
My great grandfather was Nezariah.
Why is everyone named Nezariah? That was Felina's grandfather's name as well.
Oh, really? I can't remember what he was named after. I think it was in like some book or something.
Yeah, it was the John of their time a couple generations ago. Wow.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was Nezariah Smith. All right. So what we have right here is we have Tremolo is going to go do this job application to try and get this job thing sorted out, because that's kind of like, we need this in order to get maybe a couple of other things.
Yeah.
Number 2, it sounds like you all are going to tag team this hatch in investigating a little bit down below to see if you can figure out how to even get to the pit, which is the premium industrial transport something. It's another transport.
Transport tunnel.
Transport tunnel. There it is. Premium industrial transport tunnel. I invented this. I made it up. I gave it this name months ago. Yes. So that is what we're going to do. And we're going to start with Tremolo. How does Tremolo get ready for his job interview?
he asks for his monocle back, Nezzy. I don't believe we have to put on any airs for these people in this house. No offense, Finny.
None taken. Break a leg.
Okay, so you get your monocle back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I can't think of anything else really besides dusting off what I have. I guess maybe I would. Maybe I'll leave my yellow scarf, so I'm just in more of a businessy blue cape without my.
And the helm is still covered with a toboggan.
Yes, that's. I was picturing it earlier that he had taken it off and was holding it, but I didn't worry about saying anything about it because we weren't worried about Sallie being covered in blood, even though we talked about it just beforehand. We didn't do anything about it. So I was like, oh,
seems like it was appropriate and made him like us better.
Yeah, it worked for this place. But yeah, so he leaves
He was like
his radio.
really into it.
Yeah, he leaves his radio helmet with the toboggan on it, and I don't know. You said they like color, right, around here.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I guess he leaves his yellow scarf on. It's kind of a faded yellow, but it's the most color that he has. So
the helm's staying at the house?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's got everything else that he needs. He's dusted off the best that he can be so that he looks clean, including his fabric.
Finny, as you're getting ready and getting dressed, and he sees you like patting yourself, he pulls out this like rod that is covered in tape, and he starts like rolling it over your back. And the sticky side is like pulling up bits of dirt and lint. And he holds it up.
Thank you so much, Finny.
You should always try to look your best.
Yes, especially when trying to get a job, that's for sure. Do you have any shoe polish? I haven't shined my boots in I don't know when.
Let me take care of that for you.
And he starts polishing your boots for you.
Oh, thank you. Here, I'll do this, the one on the right while you do the one on the left.
Okay. We can team it together.
And I imagine because you're like a mockery, this kind of like puppet, you can just like fold in half completely.
Yeah. Just right beside.
Just, yeah. And you guys shine your boots and you set off towards the dynamic industries.
I also use a little on my eyes.
Just to glimmer up your black glassy eyes. So you make your way out and you're going to hop on the travelator. You're able to show your certificate and get on. I need you to roll a d6 though.
1.
Guys, we're starting hot. Starting hot for those of you who haven't been keeping up. A d6 is rolled whenever there is traveling, and a result of a 1 results in a random encounter. It may not be a big deal, but I'm going to need you to roll another d6, and that's going to determine what this encounter is.
5.
All right. You're on the travelator, and it is like a bright winter day. There's gray clouds, but it's that kind of like they're way up in the atmosphere. They're not so like oppressive. And the sun's cutting through enough to make everything really, really bright and cheery. And people are out. You can see the steam on their tea that they're drinking on the travelator as they are making their way to work. And suddenly, you hear this whooshing sound coming from above. And in the distance, about 80 feet from where you're at, you're just about to get to the gate of Dynamic Industries. And this, what looks to be a giant egg, falls from the sky and crashes into the travelator. And everybody lurches to a halt as it stops. And this egg, you see steam coming off of it as everybody kind of screams. You hear these old women and young men aghast. My God. And you see the other people on the other travelator that's heading in the opposite direction going, oh, shit.
Do they care enough to be walking?
Well, they're like just slowly getting further and further away from the problem. And they're just giving you that look of like, sorry, mate. Tough luck. Hope that's fixed when I come back.
Yeah.
But they're keeping up appearances and not walking on the travelator.
You're right. There's that like kind of pull of, I'm getting further away. This is good enough. And people on the travelator who are close by there, by the egg, they're like climbing over the guardrails of the travelator. This police officer, this guard, he's got the kind of like that Bobby kind of old English kind of style police guard. He's got the bristly mustache and the hat, the bowler hat, blue uniform. He's got a little club. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. Everyone. We can't turn into animals just running along the travelator. Restrain yourself. And
So,
then
just real quick. So while that happens, the first thing that Tremolo does is try to look to see where it might have came from. If there's a mom or something flying
there's
by.
a mom.
Yeah.
You look up and you don't see anything in the sky. It's still clear. It's still a beautiful day. There's just like a giant egg there. You look up, and then when you look back down to the egg, you see that it now has a huge crack splintering down the center. And you hear it start to expand, and that cracking sound of the egg starts to split. And then it blows apart. And this translucent humanoid figure emerges from this egg. And its entire body looks like it is filled with the light of a kaleidoscopic rainbow. And these huge wings, these butterfly wings, expand outward from its body. It looks like this kind of plasmic water in human shape. These glorious wings. And you can see that there are holes in the wings. And as it starts to beat, you hear this amazing music starting to play. This whistle tune as it beats its wings. I need you to roll a charisma save. And charisma save is 3d6. And you have to score under your charisma score. Nathan, what is Tremolo's charisma score?
10.
All right.
7.
You get under your charisma score, but you hear this woman in front of you. She was the one who was on tea. She had the tea that she was drinking, and she gets this kind of glazed look in her eyes. And she says, Leonard, where are the crumpets? Get the crumpets from the bag. And her butler, ma'am, I think we have more to worry about than just crumpets, don't you? She says, never mind that now. Get the crumpets. And he pulls out the crumpets. She takes a handful and she starts walking down the travelator towards this figure. You see other people, other rich people on the travelator. What are you doing? What, ma'am, some of them can't even look at her. Like they're still dealing with this thing. And she walks up and she drops to her knees. And she raises these crumpets up to this floating figure. And she says, here, my lord, feast. And you see other people scurrying in their bags, looking for food. And this translucent figure descends and grabs these baked goods from this lady. And you see it ingest it through its chest, like it just absorbs it. It doesn't go through any type of mouth because there's not really a mouth to speak of. And it absorbs this food into its body and it touches the woman's forehead. And you hear it say, bring more. I must try it all. And she gets up and she says, everyone, quick, we must bring it more. a feast, and they start stampeding in your direction. What's Tremolo doing?
Is the stampede something that I have to worry about? Is that really like
It looks
like a
like
stampede of people?
they're not paying attention. Yeah, they're all rushing towards you.
So I'm right there at the gate. Am I able to walk through and get on the other side of the gate? And
You need to like run up towards them and get out that gate before they get to you.
okay, yeah, that's what I tried to do.
All right, let's make a dex check.
My dexterity is 11.
Okay, so we'll roll 3d6.
8.
All right, you quickly slide across this travelator, and you hear that cop saying, "Will nobody have the decency to stand still on the travelator?" And they mow this guy down as you slide and duck out through this gate.
So then I walk down the gate a little bit because I'm thinking, there's like the gate entrance, but I'm going to walk down the whatever. I'm guessing it's kind of the way that you described things, like a wrought iron fence kind of thing or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk down a little way so I don't have to worry about people coming on a path or anything.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my Tremolo takes his violin out and he starts to play as loud as he can the most beautiful song that he can think of.
You make a charisma check as well.
Okay. Charisma again is 10. I got a 4.
You start playing this song on the violin, and then this translucent figure starts flapping its wings harder. And you notice that everybody that was stampeding has stopped. And there's this moment of you're playing and it's trying to win control back. And everybody starts like gravitating towards you slowly, not aggressively. And you hear this translucent figure, this like warbled cry. And it hits its wings and flies up into the sky and disappears.
Oh, well, I thought it might want to play music together. Apparently, it is very jealous. Are you all okay?
Yeah, I just don't know how I'm going to get to work now.
Most people walk.
And you see them kind of like wander back towards the travelator. And there is somebody like hurriedly running alongside the travelator. And they're like security guards and mechanical repair people. And they're like, "Don't worry, everybody. We'll get the travelator up and working as soon as possible. Just take your seat and we will ensure that you get to your work as soon as possible. Do not worry."
These are dynamic industry folks?
Yeah.
So Tremolo walks up to the egg, like he wants to inspect the eggshell, if there's like a bit of eggshell that he might be able to take.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then he's going to talk to these dynamic industry folks.
Yeah, you can break off like a little like teacup sized piece of eggshell if you want to keep it for yourself.
What's it look like?
It looked like white from a distance, but now that you're up close, it has that pearl kind of rainbow shimmer to it. And there's like really thick blue specks now that you're up close to it, like little drops of dye.
And he picks it up and he looks at it for a little bit, and then it disappears into his cloak where everything else is at. Oh, hello, good sir.
Oh, sorry again, sir. We will have this up and running. Dynamic Industries is on the job.
It is fine. You're doing a fine job here. I'm sure that you will. Have you seen one of these beasts before? Is this new, or have you seen this happen before?
I gotta say, no, I have not seen anything like that, and I'm still not really sure what I saw, but I know that whatever you did scared it away.
Yes.
We definitely appreciate it. I don't think we would have been able to do our job if it was still here.
Well, yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad that I could do that favor. I actually have a favor of my own. I was about to put in an application to try and join your team, Dynamic Industries team.
Well, if you need a reference.
Yes, I do. I have one. Do you know Felina Robinson?
Yeah. She's only the most intelligent, smartest person at Dynamic Industries.
Well,
yeah, I know who Felina Robertson. Do you know who Felina Robertson is?
Yes,
She wants me to be her assistant, but I have to go through this application process thing, and I don't know what to do. I was wondering, I know this is very important, but there's a lot of people working on it. If you might be able to assist me, I've taken care of the major problem, right? If you might be able to assist me with a simple application so that I might be able to help Felina much swifter than what it would take me to figure it out all on my own.
Well, I gotta work on this right now. I mean, this is kind of an emergency. You see all these people, they're gonna have a conniption, but if you can give me some time, I can definitely help you out with whatever that is. Do you think you could help us out and might be able to make this go by a little faster? I mean, that would probably be something like your job anyways, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm more than happy to help.
All right. And you start to work with them, and they're kind of like teaching you the ins and outs.
Little piece by little piece. So I think of like the smallest pieces of shell that he could pick up.
Yeah. They're like breaking down the shell. You see them with like hammers and stuff. They're like, here, use this. And they've got like these large hammers. It's like home demolition sledgehammers and stuff, cracking down these shells. And while another person is working on like fixing any of the platform that broke on the impact to get it moving again. But that's what you're doing. While you're doing that, Nezzy, Sallie, you all travel Tremolo random encountered for you all. So you're not going to have to worry about doing one as well.
He finally got his weirdness.
Yeah, he definitely. Right. It's so funny because I was like, I've got to hit Tremolo with something weird eventually, so he's in.
I forgot to say it because you. The last thing you said was this, horde of people stampeding towards me. So then I was like, oh, I've got to react. But the first thought when he saw that was the flashback of everything that Sallie and Nezzy had said that they saw, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm a dick. Okay, I'm the dick. Okay.
Oh,
it's millions of dollars of real.
I get it. Yes.
So that's what flashed through his head, and then a stampede of people started running at it.
That's perfect. That's really funny. Okay. You all, Sallie and Nezzy, you make your way towards the Hackway, the dynamo that we had mentioned near the cemetery. And you can see that if you pay money, you could get onto the Hackway, and you would have, if you run across, but you'd need to be able to like break the lock or get through this chain link area. Do you all have anything that could help you get through this security?
No, but part of this is kind of figuring that out, saying like, what does it look like we need? Like, okay, we need to get through this chain link, though we need to break the lock, and Sallie might have something for it in her bag of tricks.
There we go.
Oh, so what Gail is referring to is that upon character creation, which if you're not a podcast listener, we have episode 0 where we create characters. It's not really like all these other shows, so I don't always recommend it. It's really just us creating characters and goofing off. But Gail got an object, an item, and that item was, as she takes a drink right before I'm about to ask her what that object is. Could you tell us what that item is, Gail?
The item is, oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say.
Swallow your water.
It's fine. The object is a bag of scrap parts that I've basically taken to and from different sabotages that I've done as an agricultural saboteur. So I have just a bag of random parts, and the rule is that if I can reach in and I have a 1 in 6 chance of finding the part I need from this bag.
Okay. So
the odds aren't great. So there's a 1 in 6 chance.
The odds are not great.
Okay.
But
all right.
So the downside is that Nathan's already rolled the 1 today.
Yeah, that's right.
And true. Last game you rolled all the 1s to get you all the goods. So this is tough.
Yeah.
But the odds never change. That would be a misconception of chance.
Yes. All right,
So you're going to need to roll a 1 on a d6.
it was a 6 on a d6.
You
Can we say it was
should-
a 6 on a d6?
Oh, I'm sorry. You should have said it before you
Wrong end of
rolled.
the spectrum.
I rolled. Yep.
You all get...
I'm looking through this bag. And
You're
I'm
looking
like,
through the bag trying to find something.
Oh, I
that's-
think I had to leave my wire cutters at my last job and my bolt cutters too. Like sometimes you gotta rush out of those things. But I mean, I know that I know what we need. I just need to go find a place to get it.
Is there any way I can loosen something with this hook that I have? I can pull out my hook and see if I can.
You might be able to like just brute force this lock with the hook. Like it's like a padlock.
Yeah.
You might be able to wedge the hook in there and crank it off.
Kind of break it. I'll give it a go.
All right, give me a strength check.
My strength ain't great.
Is Sally
All right.
stronger than you?
Yeah.
You might. She could do it.
Oh, okay.
That might be. I mean, just with Nezzy.
I slept on my arm real weird last night. It got real, it's numb and tingly inside. So,
Oh, are you serious? I thought it was
yeah.
like sleeping on a cloud. It was wonderful.
I'm not
All right.
used to comfortable beds. I didn't know how to sleep right.
Well, let me see. I actually want to try my pitchfork.
Go for it.
Oh, no, I rolled a 16. I didn't roll my strength at all.
Okay.
That was 2 6s and a 4.
Well,
What's
We're rolling 6s
So hang
tonight.
on. So if you're just trying to like stab with your pitchfork, then you could make an attack roll on the lock.
Okay.
But if he's trying to like wedge it open, then that would be a strength check.
I guess I was just trying to wedge it open. I don't know that I was.
Okay. All right. That's okay.
Yeah.
So this is what happens. You wedge it in there and you realize like it's going to take a lot of force to make this happen. And as you're pushing, your pitchfork snaps. And so does the lock.
Pitchfork.
The wood cracks. Laying next to the prongs of the pitchfork on the ground are the remains of the lock. And the door is wide open.
Do you have anything else to defend yourself?
I got this steak and it's still bloody and like still like in my hand.
It's like still wet bloody.
Creepy.
Yeah.
And I put it in my belt loop and I actually take the pitchfork prong, like the fork part, and I stick it in my bag of parts. You never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, is it still wet? Like it refuses to dry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As you guys are standing there, you hear a hack pull up behind you. Hey, what are you guys doing?
Oh, we work for Dynamic Industry. We're just doing some routine maintenance.
And Sallie, you want this guy to go away so bad.
I put my hand on the steak. It's okay, move along.
And Nezzy, you see Sallie speak in this way. Gail, could you say it one more time?
It's okay. Move along.
And this voice sounds absolutely demonic.
From her?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the guy turns forward and zips off. And as the hack drifts off down around the bend, Sallie, you feel like you have found some kind of power inside of you that you could use to make sure people listen to what you have to say.